Hello my friends, Jerry Rosa here in the Rosa String Works metal shop. Got a project today about rodent and pest control. Rodents here, in terms of rats and mice, do thousands and thousands of dollars worth of damage on the farm. And if you think I'm exaggerating, let me explain that, for instance, my daughter-in-law's car, they chewed the wires up on it, and it was going to be something like $1,200 for a new wire harness. And that didn't even include the labor, so it was ridiculous what the rats and mice do. Not only that, but they get in the feed, they get in the hay, then you're feeding that to your animals, and that makes the animals sick or potentially makes them sick. Possums are another example that get into feed and stuff, and if you've been following my son's channel, his Clydesdale horse Oliver was poisoned by possum manure, and so it's really bad. You have to really control the animals here, especially the ones in the barns and things. I have always set out bait traps. I made my own. I just took a 4-inch piece of PVC pipe about so long, drilled a couple of holes in it, hung a piece of bait in there on wire. Then they would go in there and eat that bait, and that would kill them eventually. I know some of you are absolutely opposed to that, but it's just life and reality here on the farm. You have to do these things. Today, I'm going to make a better mousetrap, if you will. I saw this on Ali Pick's YouTube channel. This is not my original idea. You can see here, I've already made several of them. What is it? It's a bait station. You pull this out, and I should have had this ready. And you can see you can hang 5 baits on there, and the baits slide up and down a metal rod. The rats go in from here. They can eat the bait. Nothing else can get to it. In other words, your pets are safe because they can't get in this little hole. It's a 2-inch hole. I'll show you how I make them right after this. Okay, so I've got all the parts laid out here that I've already pre-cut them, and I'll show you what that looks like. These are 2 rings that I've already sawed. I made a cut across them. This will be the feet eventually, so we'll set that aside for now. Here's the ring handle. I just made these at about 1 inch. That's plenty good as far as length. Here's 2-inch pipe that I cut at 5 inches. That'll go inside this T. This is the cap, and this is the vertical pipe, and here is the quarter 20 rod that I'm using. The reason I use quarter 20 rod versus a smaller rod is that we had a ton of this in stock. So I've got a lot of this, and it's threaded rod. So I just cut them off to the appropriate length that I could get 5 pieces hanging down inside here. All the links on all of this stuff really are going to be up to you if you decide to build this kind of thing. It's just whatever fits your situation. I used 2-inch pipe. I think Ali Picks used 1.5 inches because he was really only after mice. I'm after rats, and I'm pretty sure they can get in a 2-inch pipe. I might have to go up to 3. But anyway, I think this will work. We're going to give it a shot. So I'll show you how I make them here. I just take, just regular PVC glue, and this, you have to remember that we're not building pipes here that are going to hold water, so you don't have to be super precise on all this. You just do it, just get her done, so to speak. So like that, set that one aside a little bit. I'll put the glue on this one, set it up, put the glue on this one, put a little more glue on this one here, but it's not like this is real critical anyway. Then I just take both ends, stick them in there, and push them in at the same time, and rotate them a little bit, and they're locked in place. If you really want to be neat, you can. You just take them, wipe off your joints like that, and then your joints are much neater. So You don't have to do that, but that's good. That's a good advice on regular plumbing. Okay, here's your vertical standpipe. We'll just do the same exact thing here. Glue them up, stick them together, and that's really all there is to that. So those two things are finished. I'll go ahead and be neat and wipe this off too. All right, so that's all the glue we're going to need. So I'll put the caps back on the glue here because I would spill it otherwise. It's just as big as life. So that's all closed up and put away. All right, the next thing we're going to do is put this cap on. So you take a regular 1/4-20 nut and run it down. Run it down about an inch approximately, maybe not quite that far, but about an inch. And then you put a little washer on top of that. Then you put your cap on like so. And run your cap down. Then you put your handle on like so. And then I have a nylock nut for the top so that it doesn't come undone. What I'm going to do then is, because it doesn't matter if these threads get messed up, I'm just going to hold it with a pair of pliers like this, put my wrench on this nylock nut and tighten her down. And I want it just to the point where the threads are coming through, just barely coming through the top of the nut. And then on the bottom side here, I'll just slide a socket on there, tighten it up, and I can hold it in my hand like this. And actually I can even put my hand on the nut and tighten it up some. And in this case, this is the only one that's given me this problem. I'm going to have to hold the nylock nut, it looks like. I don't know why that's not turning. Usually it does. It's the only one, of course it's the only one I did on camera that's giving me trouble. Alright, we're tightened up now. I got them tightened against each other. Alright, so now we can go to the baits. Here's the bait we're presently using. We switch baits every so often because the theory is that the rats can get immune to the bait over time. So we switch it every so often. And right now it's called Contract. And these baits have a hole in them. Now the hole is a quarter inch, but it's a little tight. So I just, as I put it on there, I slide it up and down a little bit to make sure it's loose. 5 baits on here. This keeps you from having to reload it. Believe it or not, you put 1 bait on here, the next morning it's completely gone. The other reason you want to anchor these baits down, and I guarantee you this happens because I've seen it more than once, the rats will carry this off and put it in their mitten, what they refer to, just a cache. They just put it away. And you can like tear a wall out of a building or something and you'll find where they had drug, dozens of these baits in there and they don't eat them. They just keep them. But if you put it on something like this, they will eat it and they can't carry it off. That's the reason we're doing what we're doing. Now I'm just going to put another washer on this end. Then I'm going to put a regular wing nut on this and tighten it up. What I'm doing is I tighten it up till the wings are just about even with the end of the rod. So in other words, I just keep going here until the end of the rod is about the same height as the wings, like that. Then this falls back down and the baits fall down on top of that like so. By the way, I did take this little wire brush and clean up the threads because once you push these baits on here, the threads get a little, clogged up. Then we can just set this right on top of here like so. We're completely done, except for we're going to need to make some feet. And this is the most I don't know, cumbersome part of the whole project. You could probably come up with a better idea. This was just the idea that alley picks fella used. It works. It just maybe could be better. So I'm going to take a heat gun and I'm just going to hold this. I've got the cut on the bottom here. I'm going to heat the top. We're going to have to get it pretty warm. You kind of heat basically right in the center, but you want to heat the other edges too. Got to get it pretty warm. That's probably good enough. Maybe not. It's just about, we're just about there. Then you can just basically take this and set it down on there like that and make it conform to your shape. And if you like put this on something cold and push it down, well, it'll set the plastic a little faster, which I'll do that sometimes here. These don't have to be perfect. You know, you're making a rat trap or a rat baiting station. You're not making, you know, a science project here that anybody's going to care to look at. Do the same thing on this one. Now I'll show you the next process for attaching these feet. This here is just a little bit hokey, I'll be honest with you. I didn't take time to try to think of a better option. I'm just doing what I'm doing. Okay, we're going to need two different drill bit sizes, it looks like. One for the screw. Let me get that one back out here. So this is a larger diameter drill so that the screw can pass through these feet. And I'm just going to drill, you know, approximate center. Does it really matter? Not really. That's good enough. I'll drill approximate center again. Okay. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to set this in the vise here upside down, and I'm pointing it at me. The reason is, over here on the back wall, I have a flat line, and I can get down and kind of look at this like so and see if my feet are in line with that flat line. It's a hokey way to do it, I'll be honest, but on the other hand, it's good enough for a rat trap, you know? I could care less. I think a different foot method on this would be a good idea. This is not the best method, I don't think, but it's just what this fella did, and I just decided to copy it. Now I put a much smaller bit in here for the screw to go in, and I'm going to get down and look at that one too and see if it's about level. It's pretty close. Okay, the last thing is I have this drill set on very low torque, and I'm just going to take these little short 1/4 inch screws and screw them in like that. It's, again, this might not last, I'll be honest, but it's good enough for right now. Uh-oh, that one there stripped out. Wouldn't you know, there always has to be one. I only had one other one out of all of those I drilled strip out, and of course this one had to do that on camera. Let me recover my little mistake here. Okay, like I said, the first one stripped out. It stripped out in the hole here. So what I did was I just made a little bit of an indent in this where the screw head can go in further, and now I'll just put it in by hand, and then that way I can tell I won't strip it out. It's probably the way you should do all of them, honestly, but you know, it's just a rat bait station. It's not a big deal, one way or the other. All right, so now the only problem is that leaves the screw head sticking through here, which is, again, not a problem. I don't think that would stop a rat or a mouse from going in there. But I think what I'm going to do, just because I've got the tools accessible, I think I'm just going to take a little grinder there and grind that off smooth, just because I can. But again, we're done with it. There's your bait station. So whenever you have to replenish the bait, all you have to do is pull it out, take off this one wing nut, slide your baits on, put it right back in, you're ready to go again. And if you look inside there, the baits are hanging down on the inside there. You know, they just keep falling down as they eat it. So it looks like a really good design to me. I'm gonna give it a try and see how well it works. Well, my friends, if you've enjoyed this little short video, please give me a thumbs up. I would appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do that, because we'll have a lot more videos coming out down the road. Thank you so much for watching.